Imagine it's New Year's Eve 2024. You're excited for the new year, thinking about all the new opportunities and exciting things that are going to be happening in 2025. Then you hear that Bethesda is going to be releasing an Elder Scrolls game in 2025 as well. Would you guess that it would be A, the Elder Scrolls 6 game that we've been waiting on since, well,
forever. Forever. Forever.
B, the millionth re-release of Skyrim, or C, Oblivion Remastered? Now I'm going to be honest, I was not expecting option C. Prior experience would tell me that it would just be yet another Skyrim re-release. But this time it's not just on the Amazon Alexa, it's the Car Navigation Screen Edition. Now when it comes to Oblivion, the amount of time between when rumors started circulating and when the game was actually released was actually pretty short. That doesn't mean that there wasn't enough time to build up the hype. People were just burning with excitement. I think that among the people that were excited to play Oblivion Remastered, there are two groups of people. There are those that played the original when it came out 18 years ago. And then there are those that didn't play it, but they played Skyrim and fell in love with that game and have been waiting for the follow-up to Skyrim for the past almost 14 years. They really like to take their time, don't they? I myself fall into the second group. Skyrim will always have a special place in my heart, and this video is going to be from the perspective of someone that's been waiting and waiting for something new.
How long is this going to take?
And seeing if Oblivion can fill that role that the Elder Scrolls 6 was supposed to fill. Was it able to maintain the same charm that the original had? Is the gameplay comparable to something that we would get in a new game? Will it be enough to hold us over for probably another 10 years until the Elder Scrolls 6? Let's find out. The main thing that stands out with this game right off the bat is how great it looks. It's a night and day difference between the two when you compare the original to the remaster. The map looks incredible and has so much detail. A remaster definitely should have better graphics, but it's more than just that. It's crazy to think about just how far video games have come in the past 20 years. These days we take things like the ability to sprint for granted, but in the original that was something that was lacking, and so in this game it was added, among other things that were added to make the overall experience better. Things like an improved interface, better third-person view, a better progression system, and more voice actor variety were added and are seemingly welcome changes that the original players don't have a problem with. When those fans heard about the remaster, I'm sure that many of them were skeptical about the game losing its charm and uniqueness. After all, this game is legendary for its quirks and features, especially when it comes to the voice acting. It gave us some gems like this.
Hey, come on now! There's no need to get violent!
2 of the afternoon watch and all's well.
Snow. We need more snow. Can't have enough snow.
Indeed.
But instead of trying to take things like this out of the game, they actually kept it in, including this right here.
I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. Wait a minute, let me do that one again. I heard that thieves broke into the Arcane University, the Imperial Legion compound, and the temple all on the same night. I heard that
the characters in the original had very unique looking features.
U-G-L-Y. You ain't got no alibi, you ugly.
I mean, they mostly look like aliens. But do they look like aliens in this one?
Indeed.
We must count on persons such as you to secure our borders from bandits and rabble-rousers.
If you're looking to join up, you should speak with Velena Dunton. You'll find her in Coral.
Bethesda released Indiana Jones and the Great Circle at the end of last year, and it was a lot better than I expected, and it looked amazing. I think that the Oblivion Remastered and the Indiana Jones game are very similar in that way, and also the graphics, movement, and overall feel of the game is very similar as well. They also both have the same issue where the graphics are stunning, but it can be a little too much for consoles, which is normally totally fine, but the settings are very limited, and if you change it to performance mode, it helps, but it's still pretty choppy. Again, it was an issue for the Indiana Jones game as well. As someone with very limited experience and knowledge of the original Oblivion, it feels like there are aspects that are better than they were in Skyrim. I think the combat's even better in this game. The ability to have a spell equipped while you have a sword and shield or a bow and arrow makes it easier to heal quickly, mix in damage spells, or using spells like clairvoyance while also being ready for a fight. It's much better than having to quickly pull up the menu temporarily to equip a spell and then change it right back. It's great being able to mix in magic with the weapons that you're already using. The combat and overall movement feels more fluid than Skyrim's. In a way, there is more customization in the progression system because there are different attributes that you can level up. But you don't have a skill tree like you do in Skyrim. Instead of earning skill points when you level up, you can get attribute points instead. If you want to, you can become a speed demon, or even put everything into strength and personality. But with skills, as you level them up in increments of 25, you'll get a new perk for each skill. For example, when you use a bow and arrow, at first it takes a lot of your stamina, but once you get to level 25, it's like you become Legolas.
First try.
It took me a while to get used to the interface and the menu. It feels like what you would expect from an RPG that's 20 years old. Of course, it's very similar to Skyrim, but it has a different flavor. But overall, the fundamentals are still the same. You have your sneaking, which I like better in this game. The sneak indicator works a whole lot better.
Zoinks!
You also have lockpicking, which I don't like as much.
Come on, you mother... Oh! Same, different day!
There's also your mercantile ability, which includes this minigame here that I still don't really understand.
Don't waste your flattery on me. What a waste of time.
I do miss the ability to mine and smith though. There's nothing quite like making 100 elven bows. And so I have resorted to doing this instead to scratch that smithing itch. Speaking of which, does this game scratch the itch or fill the void that The Elder Scrolls 6 was supposed to fill? In some ways for me it does. I love being able to explore a part of Tamriel that I'm not familiar with. There's still that excitement of finding a rare item that makes a huge difference in the gameplay and opens up new possibilities. That's not even mentioning the story, which I didn't know until just barely, but you have Patrick Stewart voicing Emperor Uriel Septim. Wow, that's hard to say.
But for all these years, I've never been the ruler of my own dreams.
And Sean Bean, or otherwise known as Sean Bon, voicing Martin
By
Septim.
the nine, such a thing is dangerous even to handle. Forgive me. You were right to bring it.
I could listen to his voice all day long. You know what they say, one does not simply tell a fantasy story without using the soothing voice of Sean Bean. Anyway, it's great playing a new story for the first time. Along the way, I would run into some glitches that made it hard to progress in the story, where it wouldn't register that I completed a necessary part of the quest, and so I would sometimes have to leave and do something else or wait for a bit. I've been playing for around 20 hours and exploring caves and dungeons isn't as worthwhile as it is in Skyrim. They feel more like a maze than a linear level to go through, which normally I wouldn't mind that, but the chests hardly have anything that make it worth it to explore.
Oh, come on!
But the biggest issue that I have is the difficulty. It feels like the game should have a level between Adept and Expert. On Adept, you can take out enemies fairly quickly and they can't hurt you unless you're severely outnumbered or holding still. If that feels too easy, then you switch to Expert, then all of a sudden when you're fighting someone that would normally be taken out in about 3 or 4 hits, it takes what seems like 10 to 12 hits. It's not that bad if you're fighting just one person, but when you're outnumbered it scales and becomes really difficult. There is a long list of things that I would love to see in The Elder Scrolls 6. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface when it comes to this game, and I am definitely going to be playing it for a while. With how well of a job they did with this game and the reception that it's had, as silly as it sounds, I could see them remastering Skyrim again before getting Elder Scrolls 6. It's basically a meme at this point, but I still wouldn't be surprised. They started working on this remaster back in 2021 and did a great job. I just hope that that doesn't mean that we have to wait another 14 years for the next entry in the series. I think that if we finally get it here in the next year or two, this game will definitely tie us over. I can't forget to mention that as expected, the music is absolutely incredible. I could listen to it all day. After all, I think that the music was one of the most important parts of Skyrim, and it's the same thing with Oblivion. Tamriel looks amazing, but that music adds an additional level as you're exploring. One other thing that I don't want to forget to mention is that in this game, the map is directly south of Skyrim, and so if you go north on this map, you can actually see the throat of the world. It's a cool little touch. Like most gaming channels, I make videos about games that I absolutely love, and I plan on doing a video on Skyrim and hopes for The Elder Scrolls 6. And so I just want to thank you for watching, and let me know what you think about Oblivion and the series in general. I appreciate you taking the time to break out of jail and check out this video. We'll see you in the next one.
Indeed.